Hi guys, please welcome guys, welcome everybody. Please come in, like and share the video. It's going to be a very brief video, very short one, please. So as you come in, please like and share. I'm just going to put the show number just in case. Ay, ay, ay. Welcome guys, please come in, like and share. Let me see this. Please like and share as you come in. Hi everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. Please come in, like and share the video as you come in, please. It's going to be a very short video. Please, so come in, like and share. Just squeeze in time. Please, as you come in, say hi, say hello. I really don't want to play any music because the princess is asleep. Please come in, like the video and share the video as you come in, please. Like and share as you come in, please. Let's educate ourselves. If we fail to educate ourselves, we failed our people, we failed our community, we failed the generation to come after us. If our parents did not have the knowledge and we happen to have gained that knowledge, it's only fair that we share this knowledge among ourselves to empower each other and to lay a stronger foundation for the people coming after us. So please come in, like the video and share the video. I know it's an impromptu show, but I had to do the show. Woke up this morning thinking about a lot of things and said, let's do this video because it's a very sensitive but yet powerful subject matter for us to discuss. So please come in, like and share. Probably take maybe 30 minutes. It's a lot of ignorance being expressed or displayed when it comes to childbearing, and I had it in mind to talk about family planning and raising a modern family. But this has come up. I just let me just quickly talk about it. So please like and share, invite more people. As you can see on the title, Miracle Babies, and on the caption is Miracle Babies, and the title is IVF and Surrogacy. And these are all ways of childbearing or options that we have as parents to bring forth kids. You know, for those of us or those parents who actually go in a union with the intention to have, you know, a family, a huge family. So please, as you come in, like and share. Good morning, Ebony Mama, my beautiful auntie Cons. Good morning, auntie. Come in, like and share, please. So listening and watching things on the streets and listening to people airing out their ignorance, or should I say stupidity, in our community when it comes to surrogacy and IVF is irritating. It's irritating, honestly, to say the least. Is irritating, and we cannot allow that happen. The purpose of this platform is to educate ourselves, and when such a topic comes up, I will talk about it, because if I don't talk about it, then I'm not fulfilling the objective for my platform. So if we can hear statements like an IVF child is a plastic child, that is the most outrageous thing that we can hear in 2024. That is the most outrageous thing. That's something that I don't even want my child to even hear. That's a whisper I would not even want any of my family members, my nieces and my nephews to ever hear, even by accident, because that's a stagnated mentality. Jackie Dog Spirit, welcome, darling. I see you. That's a stagnated mentality that no modern child should come across. I remember when I was in school, at uni back home, my professor used to say to us, you know, when he gave us like coursework and he had to go take it home and do the assessment or evaluation. And he would talk about people who wrote in good English, people who can actually express themselves, and some of the scripts that were really bad in expression. And he would say things like he would not want, when he's marking or evaluating such papers, and his daughter or son was coming closer to where he was evaluating, he would say to them, move away, because he didn't want them to get contaminated with a nasty level of poor grammatical expression on those scripts. It's the same feeling I have when I hear things like IVF children are plastic children or surrogate children are plastic children. It's something I don't want any member of my family, any person that falls under my generational line to ever hear. Not when I'm alive. The babies are doing good. We are doing good, darling. Thank you so much. Thanks for asking. So that's why I said, let's talk about this topic. Let's talk about this topic before we paint our community or our society as a backward community, as a community that is still in the dark ages, as a community of uneducated people, as a community that is not willing to learn or unlearn some of the bad cultures or practices, or break through some of the stereotypes. We have to talk about these things. We have to talk about this thing. Childbearing is something that we all wish. As a young girl growing up, I know I always knew I was not going to be a reverend sister. I wasn't going to be a nun. I knew I wanted to be like my mom, get married, have my own family, have a job, have my children, and live happy ever after. I knew I was going to do that. And I thank God that all these dreams and wishes have been fulfilled. Please, as you come in, like the video. As you come in, like the video. All my wishes have been fulfilled because I got married, I have a job, I have a family, and I thank God for that. But not everybody is lucky or fortunate like that. Not everybody is lucky or fortunate like that. And most often is the circumstances beyond their control. There are circumstances beyond their control. Back in the days, people were not blessed as we are blessed today. People were not blessed as we are blessed today. People were not blessed as we are blessed today. But we are blessed, yet we don't want to educate ourselves. We don't want to empower ourselves. We don't want to put out that message, especially in our African community, Afro-Caribbean community, where people still have that archaic mentality when it comes to certain issues surrounding childbearing or infertility issues. We have to talk about it. We have to talk about it. For the women or the men, for the women or the men who want kids, IVF or surrogate and couldn't have it, IVF or surrogacy is a lifesaver. It's a lifeline for them. It's like a life jacket. It's heaven sent. It's something that science has given us through divine intervention, that people have been blessed with this knowledge to invent, procedures that can help families, mothers, fathers to have children of their own biologically, even if it's not done traditionally, but it's theirs biologically. Please like the video and share the video. I appreciate if you can just like the video. Just look on the top right hand side and you'll find some three dots. Tap on the three dots and click on the like button for me, please. And then you hear people with struggling and then manage to have a child, and you have somebody referring to your child as a robot or a plastic child. That is the craziest thing I have ever heard. It's the craziest thing I've ever heard. Imagine the number of people, the number of family members that have been, been celebrating due to IVF, the number of family members that have actually saved their marriages because of IVF or surrogacy. Imagine that. Imagine that. And our community is a community that is so traditional, and a lot of us are still of that opinion that you must have a child, you must bear a child traditionally. A man has to mount a woman, and the woman has to come out all fertile to be able to bear a child. And we are trying, the educated ones, The informed ones are trying so hard to spread the information, spread the awareness, create this awareness and say, no, my people, we have other alternatives. That is exactly the same way as a man mounting a woman and coming out, and the woman is fertile and they can bear a child. Exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing. Because of this backward mentality, there are family members or families that have been destroyed. Because if we have people shaming, making fun of people who have actually had beautiful, intelligent, well-mannered, well-cultured children via IVF or surrogacy, there are people that will feel like, oh, I cannot go down that lane because society is going to laugh at me. People will make fun of my child or make fun of me as a man or as a woman, especially the men. They would think, oh, I'm not capable of making a woman pregnant. So if you cannot get pregnant for me, I might as well go and get a second wife. These are the things that happen because of people who have stagnant mentality, or people who are still living in the dark ages. Instead of such people going out, finding out ways they can educate themselves, because you never know, a sister, a brother somewhere may just need that advice or knowledge on how to go about having an IVF. There's so many people, thank goodness for the internet these days. There are platforms where people are good enough to share their IVF or surrogacy journey with us. And so those are the kind of platforms that we should encourage our people to visit, to learn and see firsthand what it takes to have a child through IVF or through surrogacy. 10 years ago, it wasn't the case, or 20 years ago, it wasn't the case, where it was almost like very few people knew about it. But now the information is out there. So I'm shocked to see people look at IVF or refer to it as an alien procedure. How can we allow ourselves to be this backward? Why do we want to portray our community as a stagnant community? As a stagnant community. So this show is for people, or those people who have no clue what IVF is, who have no clue what surrogacy is. And they may just have people that are around them that they could help. And if you are having a platform and you claim your platform is a huge platform, and you want to use your platform to create an impact, use your platform in a positive way. Make it so much, not just about you, make it so much about your community. What can your people benefit from your platform? Is your platform to build or to destroy your community? That's a question we should be asking ourselves. Is your platform meant for building or for destroying your community? And for some of us who have decided to build our community, I will talk about it. We will talk about such issues. Some people may not know what is IVF or what is surrogacy. Some people don't know. And trust me, because people don't talk about it, they're not normalizing it well enough. There are people who have their children, via these methods, and they are ashamed to say it, but there's nothing wrong with these children. These are normal kids like you and I, and even sometimes even more intelligent, very smart, respectful human beings. They are not, abnormal children. They have nothing wrong with them. Have you ever, you who says these kids are plastic children, have you ever asked yourself why people decide to go for IVF? Sometimes it's by choice, but most often people have no control over it. they have to go for it. They have to do it to fulfill that long-lasting desire to bear children or have a child. And so today we're going to be discussing some of those reasons why, let's educate some of those people and tell them some of the reasons why people go for IVF or surrogacy. And what is the IVF to start with? Since they want also educate them as primary school children, as if we're going to do A, B, C to Z. IVF is simply in vitro fertilization. Surrogacy is a process where somebody else is like your carrier, your baby carrier for you. The most common one is the IVF. The most common is the IVF. And the reason why people would go for IVF, almost the same reason why people would do surrogacy, why people would choose to use surrogates to bear their children or bear their child. They are similar reasons as to why people will go down that lane. And there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Please, if you're watching from behind, please do me a favor and like the video. There's nothing wrong with that. People go for this for several reasons, and they are all tangible reasons. They are all very tangible reasons why people choose to go for it. Unmerited Grace, my sweetest mama, welcome. You singing in the Mbonungi. There are several reasons as to why people decide to go for IVF. And the most common one is when the fallopian tube is blocked or is damaged. And the issue is, it's not just the woman. It's not only about the woman. It's for both the man and the woman. It can be an issue for both the man and the woman. It's not just for women, as it wasn't back. You know, people always think, oh, when there's not child coming or forthcoming, is the issue. There's an issue with the woman. It can be with the man as well. And for people struggling with some of these issues like blocked fallopian tube and damage, which, I mean, if your fallopian tube is blocked, it means the eggs cannot move from your ovaries into your uterus, where, you know, and if both tubes are blocked or damaged, it makes it hard for any egg to be fertilized or for the embryo to travel into your uterus. We hear about, you know, fallopian tube issues here and there. Sometimes people have like growth. We have women who have growth, suffering from growth. Especially a lot of us, a majority of 40% of Afro-Caribbean women would, in their lifetime, you know, suffer from growth or fibroid, as they call them, fibroid issues. And when these things happen, sometimes they can block the fallopian tube. And when that happens, or when that occurs, it's so difficult for the semen to, you know, to even get to the area where you can fertilize the egg in the ovaries. And it's even difficult for that. If that cannot happen, how is the egg even going to get fertilized? And how is it even going to sit to survive? And for people struggling or suffering with that, they have the alternative to do IVF or surrogacy. Why are you clapping and disturbing you? Don't come here, Mama. Please. Don't come in front of the camera. No, move back. Move back. Go around. Thank you. Go and get your iPad. Get your iPad, please. Oh, do you want an apple? Do you want an apple? Go get an apple or a pear, please. Yeah, get a pear. You have people who suffer from ovulation issues. There are people, you know, when I was in secondary school, I had classmates who had very bad menstrual problems. Bad menstrual problems. Either it's so painful. I had my best friend, she would, every time she's on her period, she's hospitalized. She's as white as a ghost, sick of sin. Some people, their menstrual cycle is so irregular, very irregular. It makes it a challenge, a big challenge for people to conceive. When you have such ovulation disorder, you know, it makes, I mean, it's so difficult for fertilization to occur because sometimes you're struggling to find when is your fertile period for you to actually plan and, you know, make sure that you can actually get pregnant during that period. It's very difficult. For some people, their ovulation will probably come this month and skip 2 months or a month or so before it comes again. And so if your ovulation doesn't happen or it's irregular or it doesn't occur, you have fewer eggs sometimes, you know, and the lesser the eggs that you actually release, the slimmer your chances of getting pregnant. Amerita Grace says, unfortunately, we have very ignorant people in our community talking rubbish online. Local keyboard warrior. It's crazy. I woke up this morning, I could not stop thinking about it. I was like, no, I cannot not say something about it. My platform is all about this, and I have to say it. I have to say something about it. And you have also issues like endometriosis. This endometriosis is something that a lot of people suffer from, and they're not even aware that they have endometriosis. And this thing happened from as early as maybe, you know, 15, 16. This, as you know, it can even maybe earlier now, because as soon as you start seeing your period, you know, there's a possibility that you can actually suffer from endometriosis. I had a colleague whose daughter was going through this serious pain every single time. Unhappy bride, welcome, my darling. I see you. Please, as you come in, like the video. FBI Clarence, my bosom, big sis. Welcome, big sis. I see you. Please like the video as you come in. So people will be asking, now, what is endometriosis? So the condition often happens like when the tissues that line your uterus, they actually grow outside the uterus. So the lining of your uterus is literally growing out of your uterus, and it affects your ovaries and your fallopian tubes as well. When you have that, it's so difficult and it's so painful. It's difficult for ovulation to happen, fertilization to happen when you're suffering from endometriosis. That's why you see some people will try for years. You're seeing your period. It is regular, yet you cannot get pregnant. I have a colleague that I've been struggling when I, you know, she's of Polish origin, and, you know, she had been in a relationship way longer before I got married, and she always wanted a child, And so when I got married and then my husband joined, and I remember when I got pregnant, she was so disheartened. She was happy for me, but she was so disheartened. Cuckoo, you're awake? You're awake. The first thing you want to do is eat. Yum, yum. Mama. Thank you, unhappy bride. Please like the video as you come in. So this colleague of mine was so disheartened because she had been trying for long, and my husband just came here, and it wasn't up to 2 weeks, and I was, you know, I was pregnant already. She was so down. That's when she went, you know, making all the medical checks, doing everything. Fortunately enough, there's a fertility clinic not far from where we worked, and so she went there. It's after running so many tests that they actually diagnosed her suffering from endometriosis, and she's been trying since then. They've done everything possible to get her pregnant, but she's still not. You know, she's just said to me, Bella, I've given up. I don't think, you know, childbearing is for me. I don't think it will be for me. And I feel so bad. And there are people like that. But IVF has given them the alternative. For some people, it may be her choice not to go for IVF. And also, she might even go for the IVF, but what's the guarantee that it's going to be a successful cycle? Or she can have, people have done 1, 2, 3, 4 cycles of IVF and it didn't work. And it's a whole lot of process to go through that. It's painstaking. It's painstaking. If you've ever seen anybody go through IVF, I've seen 1 or 2 persons who've gone through it. It's a process. Your body it's like your body is battered. That's why some people just decide to go for surrogacy, because they don't want to go through that process. All the tests, all the hormones you have to every day get up in the morning, injecting yourself, taking medication. All that process is scary and it's so painful. Not everybody is courageous enough or brave enough to go through it. And so if people are brave enough to go through it and they are blessed with this beautiful bond of joy, how dare somebody come to degrade or downgrade their child? How dare? How dare? The children that we actually have naturally, don't they quarrel? Don't they quarrel? They can quarrel. They can quarrel. IVF or natural or traditionally conceived, if anything, they all get ill the same way. They all study the same way. They all speak the same way. They reason the same way. They do everything the same way. When it comes to quarrel, they would quarrel. They will contract the same diseases like the normal child. It's a normal baby, for crying out loud. It's a normal baby, for crying out loud. So we cannot be exercising our stupidity and ignorance on the streets every single time. I don't want to be part of that community where people will make fun of us of being a backward community because we hear things like that and we don't educate ourselves or tell our people, no, it's not true. Because I will say it's not true. I'll say it's not true. A lot of women in their 30s and their 40s. I remember when I was pregnant with co-host and I went to do my scan. And during one of the scans, they said to me, oh, they see a tiny fibroid, but it's very, very tiny. It's very common for us Afro-Caribbean women. They said it's very tiny, so they're not concerned about it, that it's going to affect the baby. So it's very common. Some people, unfortunately, they have really huge lump fibroids that needs removal before they can conceive. And some people, even if they remove those fibroids, they can't conceive. It's not a guarantee. So if they have the option to go for IVF, for in vitro fertilization, why not? Why not? And sometimes, you know how you can have a baby, because sometimes mothers, as you know, as we are, we can be pregnant, we have all our children, or we say we think we are done, and then you decide to do maybe a procedure to prevent you from getting pregnant, like a temporary procedure to prevent you from getting pregnant, you know, or sometimes semi-permanent, like the tuber ligation, where you actually they block the tubes, you know, having your fallopian tubes cut and blocked so that you don't get pregnant. Some people choose to do that sometimes when they feel like, oh, I'm done having babies. They choose to do that. So, you know, down the line, they can decide to say, oh, maybe I can just have one more. Let me just have a retirement baby or something like that, you know. So for people who have done that, their possibility of getting pregnant naturally is so slim. It's so slim. So the better chance is for them to do IVF or surrogacy, you know. The best option for them. Yes, my love. Do you want to burp? There you go. Good job. BF Mansion, my beautiful, sweet Mama. Welcome, Mama. I see you. Happy New Week. So people who have this tubal ligation, they would want to resort to IVF so they can. I will, Mama. Thank you. I will. So if they wish to conceive, after that, IVF may be an option. It might be an option for them. You know, if you don't want, you know, or if you can't get the surgery reversed, IVF is the better option for them. Sometimes it's low sperm count for the man. Some of the men, you know, like I said, it's not always about the woman. The typical African man, The child is not coming. The family members start accusing the wife. Oh, she cannot. Oh, she was working at Jaja. She was a shower in the days of Ayijo. No wonder she has quarrat children, all the children in her belly. She cannot have any more children. So let my brother take another wife. Not knowing that their brother is short on the waist, around his groin area. Is very limited. He's restricted around his groin area. You know, they always feel like their brother is always a macho, is a man. You can have a man who is so, you know, big, huge, and you think, oh my God, this man is loaded with bullets. But no, he may just be suffering from low sperm count. And for people like that, of course, they will have to go to the lab. They will have to, you know, make him release as many as he can release. And they will go through and pick out the healthy ones. And they will use the egg of the woman, you know, fertilize it with the sperm, and then they're going to insert it back into the woman. It makes life a lot easier for my people, for you and I, for a sister or a brother. Gives them joy. Gives them joy. So it's always good for people, if you're a man or you're a couple, you're struggling to, you know, conceive, it's always good for both of you to visit a fertility clinic, visit a fertility specialist, you know. They can check the man, check the woman. If it's an issue with the man, of course, they can bring out options or things they can do to help the man or help the couple to conceive and have the baby and be happy and live the happy ever after. Sometimes the issues you can't even explain. Sometimes it's unexplained fertility issues like miscarriages. Some miscarriages you cannot explain. There are people who have miscarriages time without number, again and again and again and again. So what do? They resort to surrogacy. Because some miscarriages you cannot explain. Some miscarriages you cannot explain. There are some that you have due to DV, domestic violence, some due to hard manual labor, some due to stress. But others you cannot explain. It's the same like some fertility issues. Sometimes science cannot explain it. Sometimes science cannot explain it. So, but then if they say to you, try IVF, that's an option that you have, or surrogacy. Why won't you jump on that opportunity? Why won't you? And we make sure we tell our people, jump on every opportunity that you have. When it comes to that, you must not be ashamed. You must not feel guilty. You must not feel less of a man or less of a woman because you want to take that road. You must not. You must not. Fatty, fatty. Fatty, fatty. You're smiling. Oh, my love. Yes. We must protect your brothers and sisters that God has actually blessed their parents with, perhaps through another means. Okay? We have to protect them and say to them they just have as much rights as you do. It's just like you. Yes? You must grow to empower everybody around you. Right? Yes. Yes, you must. Yes, you must. So it's all so crazy to hear people think about, look down on people trying to conceive their children through IVF. It can be a genetic disorder. If you're your partner, you know, it's at risk of maybe passing a genetic disorder to your child. You know, maybe health professionals can actually recommend that you do IVF. They can recommend you do IVF. And then in that way, it's easy for them to pick out, you know, the eggs. So, you know, when you, for the IVF, for these people who don't understand and they don't even know how it works, that's why they can say this shit in plastic. For the IVF, when you go for this process, I haven't been, but I've read and I've followed and watched somebody's journey. So many people's journey, actually, I have. When you go for it, the woman, they have to retrieve so many eggs from the woman. They retrieve so many eggs from the woman. And then they also take the sperm from the man. Now, when it comes to this genetic disorder, to eliminate any genetic problem, If somebody is suffering from, maybe people suffering, you're always having a heart attack in your family, or bone marrow disease, or diabetes type 1, or think about any genetic disorder that can be hereditary. Yes, baby. Think of any genetic disorder that can be hereditary. So with IVF, what happens is when you release that egg, science has the power or the ability to detect which egg is likely to have that default. It has the ability to detect which egg has that default, or which sperms may carry that default. And with so doing, they can eliminate any possible dangerous egg. So you don't have a generation of people suffering from this same disease or this same condition. So tell me how IVF is not a great idea. Tell me. Tell me how it's not a great idea. Tell me how it is not a great idea. Sometimes people suffer from cancer. People suffer from cancer or very severe health issues. Your baby, the baby is pooing. Sorry, guys, if you heard anything, that wasn't me. That's the baby. Oh, my days. Don't make your aunties or uncle think that mommy's doing something here. Yes, mama, stretching and pooing. Yeah, because sometimes people who suffer from cancer, God forbid, you don't pray that on anybody. That thing is a killer disease. Sometimes cancer treatment like radiation or chemotherapy, they can really be dangerous. They can hinder or limit fertility in women or men. And so sometimes if you're about to start your cancer treatment, they may recommend that you do an IVF if you still want babies in the future. You know, your ex, sometimes they will say to you, I had a family member, he had like prostate cancer, and they advised him to actually retrieve his sperms and save them. And thank God. And this, we are talking about how many years ago now? How many years ago? About 15 years ago. 15 years ago, yeah. If he wasn't here in the UK, he probably would have quarreled. So they advised him to actually save his sperms. So he banked up his sperms, and that is what saved him, because he only has a daughter, and that's the only child. That's the only child he has up to date. Can you imagine if he did not bank that sperm? Imagine if he didn't bank it. He would have been craving for a child, and his chances or possibilities of having it would have been so slim. It would have been so slim. Yeah, that's how important all these medical interventions are. It's so important. For some women, you know how some women, you have kids, or you have a child, your first pregnancy, and through other pregnancy, you've been going through a lot of challenges, health challenges, preeclampsia, and think about every, high blood pressure, diabetes, and all whatnot. And what the doctors can say to you, if you're planning on having children again in the future, we would suggest that you do a surrogacy, so someone else can carry it for you. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Yes, absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's still yours. Genetically and everything is still yours. Your DNA is still yours. The only difference is someone is going to carry it for you. I'd rather have an IVF child. I'd rather have a surrogate child who is respectful, is down to earth, is humble, is enterprising, is clever, is intelligent, is a good citizen, is helpful, than have a biological child that will be the one to quarrel you. A biological child that will be the one to cause havoc among your friends or family members. A biological child that is the one that's going to drag the community back to the dark ages. Yes. Yes. And I'm just hoping and I pray that someday, you know, and I don't know, maybe there is already children, you know, born through IVF or surrogacy can have like their organization or convention or something to talk about it and share their beautiful experiences and celebrate the life that God and science has actually made possible for them to exist. To exist. Going about saying that children out of IVF are plastic children. Do you know how hurtful that statement is? How hurt that statement is for people who have struggled with childbearing. So how hurtful that is. And what is more sad about the whole thing is, imagine if I was on my platform here and I have you all watching and we're having all these conversations and I'm talking down on people with IVF, and on this platform I'm sure there are people who are watching me who are struggling or trying to conceive. I'm sure there are people on this platform who have children via IVF or surrogacy. And yet, none of you is saying to me, hey, Bella, that's very ignorant of you to say that. That's not correct. My child is not plastic. My child is a normal human being. No one says that. What does that tell me? That would literally tell me, and this information, that's telling me that the people who are under my platform don't love me. Because if you love me, if everybody mama sees that I'm saying something that's not correct, everybody mama has to correct me. Everybody mama has to say, oh no, Bella, like we do it sometimes here. Sometimes there was a time, what was I saying about? It was about marriage or something, a law about marriage in Cameroon. I can't remember what exactly it was now. And there was a legal mind on the comment section, and the legal mind said to me, oh, Bella is absolutely I think it's 16 or is it 17 is the consent age in Cameroon to get married. So I was saying no, and the person said to me, no, Bella, that's the age or something like that. You know, if somebody can't correct you, if your followers or your or viewers cannot correct you with any misinformation that you're putting out there, they don't love you. You should be worried. They mean they don't love you. Because the whole purpose or the whole idea for us having these platforms is to educate and be educated. It's to educate and be educated. It's not just for me to come on this platform and be ranting or talking by myself. It's for people to also share their ideas, share their experiences. Share their experiences. It's like waking up one day on this platform and saying, oh, anybody who is having a miscarriage is because you live an ashawo life, so you cannot, a child can't stand anymore in your womb. No. That would be the most outrageous thing to say. That would be the most dangerous thing to say. But when we know something, let's say it as it is. And if we don't know it, it's okay if we don't know. It's not everything we must know. Because we can't be talking about this. There are people who actually believe that the kids are plastic, but having these conversations and talking about it and explaining to people who are not aware of these things, hopefully they can gain some knowledge to help themselves and help their children and their generation to come. Yes, because God forbid, I have two girls. Hopefully they will grow up to be like their mom, wanting to have a family of their own, but there's no pressure. It's their choice, it's their life. You can only guide and advise your child. But then at least I have this knowledge, and I know if my child, God forbid, is ever going to face such challenges in the future, they have my support. I have this knowledge, and knowledge is ongoing because over time things change. So that's why you have to keep up with the knowledge or things that are happening around you, especially things that are going to benefit you positively. So we cannot allow our people be destroyed by misinformation. My people perish due to lack of knowledge. And so if we know this, and we know we can contribute in a tiniest way possible to make sure our people don't perish due to this lack of knowledge, let's do it. Let's do it. Go out there and spread the word. If you're under any platform and they're saying something that can be detrimental to the community or community building, don't stand for it. Don't buy it. Because that thing can affect you or somebody so dear to you tomorrow. And you will be embarrassed as well. Because if you are sitting on the platform where they're saying a child born out of IVF is plastic and you're saying nothing, and then it happens tomorrow that you have to go through IVF yourself, do you think you're going to be proud to tell somebody? You're going to be proud to tell the people around you that, oh, I had my child by IVF? No, I don't think so. Why? Because you supported somebody who thinks that the child is plastic. So you don't want people to refer to your child as plastic. And so you're living a life of lies. Because you cannot confidently or boldly, tell people that I had my child by IVF, even though it's not no one's business. But your conscience, like I say to you, I always say to people, your conscience is the biggest, person you cannot escape from. You cannot lie you can lie everybody, but not your conscience. You cannot lie your conscience. So you'll be dying and crying under your pillow that you cannot be so 100% proud about your baby because people are going to think your baby is plastic. Come of it. Come of it. Come of it. It's absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense. So I say kudos to all those mothers. I say kudos to all those fathers who are out there seizing every opportunity that God has made or given to them. Claire Smith, thank you so much, Claire Smith. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Nothing. And that's why it saddens me, because in our community, we are trying to shame people. We're trying to shame people who have gone through this process and tagging very nasty names or titles to children born through IVF. And I cannot stand and watch it, because no, I cannot. As a learned person, I cannot, especially something that is proven that is absolutely perfect, is fine, biologically, genetically, humanly possible, perfect. I cannot stand and then say nothing when I have a platform, and the platform is meant to empower people and encourage people. And a topic like this is something that I love to do. Nobody, no one should be made ashamed. And that's why I say it's important. If you're under any platform and somebody is saying something that you think is going to affect your community as a whole, or the generation as a whole, you need to stand and speak up and say, no, we cannot tag our people as ignorant. Asking for a friend, my auntie dearest. Welcome, auntie. I see you. We cannot. We cannot. Auntie was just an impromptu. I just sat and I had this thought coming through my mind, and I had to come up and light my camera and say something. We cannot. So if you are thinking that a child is an IVF child is not normal, what if your daughter were to go, down the line to get married to somebody with IVF, just because you have that backward mentality? I can't even think about it. The stagnation is alarming. And nobody should be living in that mentality now. It's 2024, for goodness sake. It's 2024. And the good thing about the IVF is even beautiful, because why? You can even choose your gender. Nowadays, the IVF, people are using it to a different level now. You can decide if you want your child to have green eyes. You can decide if you want your child to be a girl or a boy. You can decide if you want to have triplets, quadruplets, as many as you want at one go. You have these options. The beauty of it all. How can we have something beautiful that God has made possible through two human beings? How can we look at it from a negative a lens like that? How can we do that? How can we do that? Ignorance. Ignorance, I say, is it's a human being's worst enemy. Ignorance is one of your worst enemies. Ignorance is one of your worst enemies. And if you cannot empower yourself, educate yourself, get informed, you're literally engaging yourself in self-destruction. Yes, you're engaging yourself in self-destruction. If you're ignorant and you're doing nothing about it, you're engaging yourself in self-destruction. Simple as that. Simple as that. Yes. Someday, somehow, a child born out of IVF will be the one to deliver your child. Will be the one to save you. Maybe you're engaged in an accident. Will be the one to save you. You know, will be the one to help you someday. And are you going to refuse that help or assistance because that child is a plastic child? That's crazy. So crazy. So crazy. A child or people who are just living their normal lives. Living their normal lives and even better lives than you and I. And trust me, parents who have gone through this IVF are so protective of their children. So protective because they know what they've been through. They know what they have been through to have these babies. Yes, naturally, as mothers, we are naturally very protective. We have that mama bear instinct. But trust me, when you watch the journey of people going through IVF, you don't mess with their child. Because they're not only going to go through that journey, they're also going to go through the delivery process as well. Oh my goodness. So it's like a double whammy for them. It's like a double whammy for them. It's like a double whammy. So for me, if anything, the IVF children are like special kids. You see, if you look at my Auntie DRS is underneath there, Auntie Rosemary, asking for a friend. She has been very proud. Auntie has been very proud to share her life experiences. She has been very proud to talk about it. It takes courage. It takes a special kind of person. It takes a special kind of person to come and be vulnerable to their people and share their experience of IVF. I remember when you shared your experience, I was like, wow, may God bless you. May God bless you, because not everybody can do that. Because when you see somebody that you can relate with share such an experience, it makes you feel comfortable and say, if this person is going through that and they've come out victorious, I'm sure I can do it too. And when I see my beautiful baby sis Tolu, I mean, it was worth the pain. It was worth the stress. It was worth the hassle. It was worth the money. It was worth every sacrifice. Beautiful, grounded, empathic. You name it. Intelligent, hardworking. If something is plastic, it means it's inanimate. If something is plastic, it's inanimate. But these are people excelling and thriving in life. Oh, the girl with the vibes, my beautiful mama, I see you. These are people thriving in life. Please, as you come in, like the video. And then we refer to them as plastic. And like I say, there are a lot of ignorant people like that in our midst, but let's keep talking and educating these people. We cannot allow our community be looked at as, and laughed or mocked at as a primitive community, as a community void of any knowledge or information. Our community, the YouTube community, is very tiny. Our online space compared to people like Nigeria or Ghana is very tiny. And so if you have even the tiniest platform, use it correctly. Use it for community building and not for community destruction. Use it for community building and not for community destruction. Use it to build confidence. Use it to build the confidence of the people around you. Imagine, maybe there's a child who was born through IVF on my platform, because on YouTube you can be 18 or plus. And if that child is watching me and I come on my platform, I light my camera and I say you're a plastic child, what do you think is going to happen to that child's confidence? What do you think it can actually do to that child emotionally? For a child who is not strong enough, some of them can even have the feeling to want to quarrel themselves because they'll think, oh my God, so this is the way I'm being looked at in society. This is how people look at me, or this is how people refer to me. So that money. Yes. So we cannot be putting such an information out there. It's just so wrong. It's so wrong in every ramification. It's so wrong. So wrong. So wrong. So wrong. Auntie says it's the most emotional journey. The prenatal prep is crazy. Yes, I've watched people, share their experience, the IVF journey. And it's not one to even, make fun of or to even make light of. Yeah, it's crazy. So, I just thought, I sat here and I was sitting this morning and looking at, the princesses, the joy it gives a mother to have a child, and to think about the joy that some of my sisters or my aunties are having because they have this option, and to think that somebody wants to take that away from them or paint the color of it black. No, absolutely not happening. It's absolutely not happening. So I thought, I said, okay, I'm just going to quickly light my camera and just express myself. So hopefully, this message goes out there. And for the people who are complacent about this thing of tagging children born through IVF or surrogacy as plastic, please think again. Think again. Because it may not be you that you're being addressed today. It may be your child. It may be your niece. It may be your nephew. It may be your auntie someday. So think about it. There's certain societal issues that we cannot joke with, especially when it has to do with a societal growth. We have to be very careful. We must not perish when we have a wealth of knowledge. We have a wealth of knowledge out there. Unhappy Bride says, Bella, anyone who knows the pride of having a child by IVF, proud mom of 3. There you go. There you go. There you go. So that is somebody who perhaps has a child via IVF. That's somebody who have a child via IVF. Perhaps. And they are so proud of their kids. And their children are probably thriving, doing exceptionally well. Mom and daddy's, joy, making mom and dad so proud. I'd rather have an IVF child who makes me proud, it's a decent and grounded citizen, than have a traditional child that is going to cause me to quarrel. Than have a traditional child that's going to cause me to quarrel. We have to be very careful the things we put out on our platforms. Enough of the kisses with your sister. It's enough. Hey. My son's record in school, you can't stand them. Oh my God, thank you so much for sharing this, sis. Thank you so much for sharing this. These are the kind of things we want. You see, these are people who have gone through the experience and have no issues whatsoever. Enough with the bisou. Come on now. Bisou. That's co-host. She will not allow her baby sister rest with kisses. Kisses, kisses, kisses. You have to send her away. Did you drive her like with a broom? So please, I think I'm going to end the show here. I thank everybody for joining. I know it was impromptu. It's okay. I know it was impromptu, but I had to come and do it. You know, and put out this little knowledge so people are aware what IVF is all about, why people do IVFs, and why you should do IVF. Why you should do IVF. I remember when I shared my story with Tolu when she turned 17, how excited and inquisitive she was to know more. Good girl. That's what I'm talking about. And every child born through IVF should be given the right, you know, the privilege to know. Enough with the bisou, mama, please. I'm talking to my look. I'm talking to my friends. They should be told that this is what happened to them. They know how they were conceived, so they can understand. You know, not like our children. We're not going to tell them, our children, how we conceive traditionally. They say, "Mommy, how was I born?" You said, "Daddy put spittle through my belly button, and then you were born." Kids need to know. Gone are those days you have to tell those crazy tales to kids about pregnancies and fertility and deliveries. Oh, daddy had to touch my belly button and I had you. No, tell them. They need to know when they grow up how they, you know, when they're at a certain age. Enough. Please, sit. That's enough. Can she rest now? Let her cheeks rest for a bit. Yes, a bit. Let it rest for a bit. At the time I shared just a fraction. I kept the rest. Stop it. Go and get your iPad now. You're distracting mommy. Go get your iPad, please. Can you go get your iPad for me? And put that, please. Leave it down there. That's for mommy. Go. Thank you. Bye-bye. Auntie said, I kept the rest. What was that? No. Go back this way, please. I'll read it from this other phone. It's easier, I think. Go back and put it there. Put it down. Thank you. Go and get your iPad, please. Go and get your iPad. You get your sister in a minute. It's okay. You take her in a minute, please. If you cry, I will not give you. You will not take baby. If you cry, you will not take baby. Let me see. It's the most emotional journey. That's a bit crazy. Unhappy Bride said, who cares about that useless talk about IVF? Can she afford it? And it's very costly. One cycle, it's about, I think here it's about 1,000 something. It was back then. It's probably like maybe 2,000 now at least for a cycle. Move. At the time I shared just a fraction, I kept the rest for when she turns 21. Oh, life not turn by turn. I think ignorance is a disaster. How can someone insult a child? That, honestly, I said ignorance is your... Stop it. Ignorance is your worst enemy. And you have educated people and nobody's saying anything. It's not funny. You have educated people under every platform. That's the honest truth. You have educated people under every platform. And nobody's saying anything. That's so wrong. Yes, baby. Go around and sit down, please. IVF is not everybody's mate. It's very costly. Very costly. Well, surrogacy is very costly. Yeah, in Germany it's about 4,000. So 4,000 pounds. Wow, is it euro? Wow. That's what I mean. It's expensive to go down with your dirty socks. Come on, sit here. Raquel, move back. Sit here. Sit here. It's crazy. So let's keep talking about these things. Let's keep sharing our experiences. We cannot allow ourselves, or some people, you know, be shamed or made ridicule of, especially the children born through IVF. We cannot make them feel less of themselves. So I thank everybody. It was an impromptu show. I'm glad I've done it. I'm so glad I've done it. You know, my own little contribution to this community, to our community, to the world at large. Let the people know we are not that dumb. We are not stupid. We actually know what IVF is. A lot of us know what IVF is, and we want people to know that we are, you know, empowered. We have the knowledge. $21 years ago, we paid 60K. So that's 60,000 US dollars, because I can imagine until then it wasn't common. It was, you know, not very, it wasn't accessible as it is today. My God. Wow. Oh, happy birthday, Bella. The doctors gave me 10% to get pregnant naturally. I told them I can't keep waiting. Let's do it. And I'm so proud of myself. I would do it again any day, anytime. Wow. Wow. I'm just smiling reading at this comments from you and Mommy's friend. I'm just reading with so much joy. I'm just reading because that's why I say the joy of having that child surpasses any pain you go through in that process. For all the people I've watched who have actually shared their journeys with us, the joy they have when they hear they're pregnant and when the baby arrives, nothing beats that. Nothing beats that. I will have to rewatch. Thanks for doing the show, Bella. Let's continue to talk and educate. You're welcome, Auntie. Life na Bella. Some people will not learn even if you broke their head to I know. It's like trying to get blood out of from a stone. We will get there. We'll get there. Life na turn by turn. We'll get there slowly but surely. Let's keep going. Persistence. Stop it. Persistent. We're gonna persist until we get there. Okay. So thank you guys so much on Happy Bride. Thank you so much for sharing your experience. It means the world to me. It means the world to me for sharing this experience, your experience on this platform. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for that. And hopefully people that will watch my show will see that there are people who have been through this, and it's a beautiful journey, and no one should be talked down or talked out of it. If you can afford it and you're in a position to do it, my dear sister, my dear brother, do it. Do it. Do it. The only thing that the insurance covered. Exactly, Mama. They should do it, right? Do it. The only thing that the insurance covered was my hospital birth and stay. It's a lot of money. So thank you guys so much. Let me leave you. It's lunchtime for the princesses, so I got to go. Thank you so much, Auntie. Thank you so much. A life not turn by turn on Happy Bright. Thank you. Rachel Nyambi, darling sis. Let me see you. Greetings, sis. Thank you so much for joining. Yvonne Novak, thank you, darling sis. I didn't realize you came in Beehive Mansion. Thank you, Mama. I appreciate you. On Omerita Grace, thank you, Mama. The girl with the vibes. My mamas are here. Ebony Mama, thank you so much. Claire Smith, thank you, darling. Thank you so much for being here. I think that's the first time I've seen that name. If it's the first time here, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. You're welcome, Auntie. Like and share and turn on the notification bell so whenever we're live or drop a video, you will not miss out. I appreciate you all so very much. Jackie Dog Spirit, thank you so much, darling. I appreciate you all. So hopefully we won't be hearing about ignorant statements on the streets anymore with regards to our beautiful IVF babies. Thank you all so much. I wish you all a blessed new week. May all your endeavors and hard work be fruitful throughout this week. And I'll see you all on our next show. God bless. Bye, everybody. Bye for now. Bye-bye. Life not turn by turn. Bella, it's my first time here, but I think you are good. Oh, thank you so much, Life not turn by turn. Thank you, darling. I appreciate you. Thank you. I appreciate you. I hope to see you on our next show. Our next show is going to be a very interesting topic again. I have a collection of topics. Depending on my mood, I pick from any one of them. We have a lot. There's a lot. Imagine I've not had a show when I was like closer to having the princess, and then after having her I was off. So every time I'm in a quiet moment, I just jot down things that we need to discuss and learn together. So hopefully, live not turn by turn, I will see you again on our next show. Thank you. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. All right, bye everybody. Bye.